Good day to one and all. This is Dr. Sivaraman of iknowindices.com. Hope you are able to hear me. Hope I am audible. Let me display the PowerPoint presentation. Asian session live market analysis on June 28th between 5 and 5:30 GMT. Let me give the link for the live market code page. I'll also focus the camera over that of the live market code page. Now you should be able to see the live market code page. Euro is currently trading around 1.4293, 1.4295. Low is 1.4281, the high is 1.4329, and you come across 7 pips positive net change. In the case of GBP, it is hovering around that of 1.5967, 1.5971, 1.5964 is the low, 1.6000 is the high, 21 pips negative net change is seen. So there is a contrarian move. Euro is showing positive net change, GBP is showing negative net change, mainly to gain some levels as an upward stop and move. In the case of Euro GBP, it is trading around 89.50, 89.53, 89.33 is the low, 89.56 is the high. So they are inducing all the short sellers to cover the short before making a drop in the case of Euro GBP. Then Yen, USD Yen, it is trading around 80.79, 80.82, 80.73 is the low, 80.91 is the high, a narrow range spread is seen, about 7 pips negative net change is seen. So when GBP is showing negative net change and Yen is also showing negative net change, it is yet another contrarian move. Then because of that, GBP Yen is trading around 129.01, 129.08, 129.01 is the low, 129.34 is the high, 29 pips negative net change is seen. Then similarly, CHF, after visiting 85 area, they have come back to 83 area again. Their lower level consolidation with a downward stop and is happening here in the case of USD Yen. So 83.47, 83.50 are the current levels, 83.39 is the low, 83.57 is the high, and 3 pips negative net change is seen. So when Euro is showing about 10 pips positive net change, CHF is showing about 3 pips negative net change, a lesser drop. But when GBP is showing net change, CHF is also showing net change. Because of that, GBP CH would have come down. It is not listed here. Then with regard to the commodity pairs, USD CAD is trading around 98.57, 98.61, 98.51 is the low, 98.67 is the high, 1 pip negative net change is seen. So from that of 98.5 area, 96, 97, and now they are consolidating around 98 area in the case of USD CAD. In Australian dollar, it was trading around 1.05 to 1.06 area. It has come down to 1.04 area. 1.0454, 1.0457 are the current levels. 1.0442 is the low. 1.0478 is the high. 12 pips positive net change is seen. And a narrow range swing is seen, and they are trying to build in the middle level the sell positions before making further drop in the case of Australian dollar. So you find a mixed type of net changes are seen. Euro and Australian dollar are showing positive net changes. The rest of the currencies are showing negative net change. It is a way to handle the crosses. So whenever the volume comes down, in the case of the majors, they handle the crosses during the mid sessions. So, but nominal moves are seen as such in the case of the majors as well as in the case of crosses. And afterwards, what is expected today? So let me display the PowerPoint presentation and show you what are the expected moves for today. So Japanese session, high level swing and slide are the expected move, and a quick drop is expected during that of the early European session. And either way moves are seen, a volatile move, a quick rise and a quick drop, and that sort of moves. Probably for any data release and things like that, they could make some volatile moves during that of the late European session. And US session is expected to show swing and slide moves. So this is a week from 27th of June to 30th. You come across 4 days of this particular month, and the 1st of July fall in this particular week. So when a week you come across the ending of the current month and the starting of the new month, the volatile moves are to prevail. So either way, they are expected to make very quick moves, and they are expected to make pump and dump moves basically. So quickly gain the levels and hold high and build a sell position and drop. Then quickly gain the level, hold high and build the sell position and drop. So this is how the intermediary levels they are trying to build the sell positions before making a very good drop during the month of July. So be cautious and avoid doing buy and sell trade, and it might appear very interesting to do euro sell around 1.43 and buy around 1.41 and again sell around 1.43. Then once it comes to 1.41, you will be tempted to buy. Then they are expected to go lower levels. And it probably there might be a lot of rumors and also the expectations that euro could go to 1.44, etc. And so that is how they are doing the duty of just misguiding and trying to give that impression to that of the traders that you can do buy and sell trade, but they wanted to drop and they wanted to sell. So that you have to keep it in mind. Then, with regard to the initial lows and the highs, 1.4281 is the low in the case of euro, 1.4329 is the high, and both are not breached. Then GBP 1.5964 and 1.600, they are also not breached. And in the case of CHF, 0.8339 is the low, 0.8357. They have formed a new high in the case of CHF, and the net change has come to about 1 pip negative net change. When euro is showing about 9 pip positive net change, CHF has gradually come closer to that of the zero net change level, and they breached the high also by 2 pips. Then in the case of, if it sustains there, then there is a potential to go up. Then USDN 80.73 and 80.91 are the current level. I mean the lows and the highs, and they are not breached. And Australian dollar 1.0442 is the low, 1.0478 is the high. They are also not breached. And Canadian dollar 98.51 is the low, and 98.67 is the high. They are also not breached. So you can understand that excepting USD CHF, none of the currencies have breached either the low or the high, indicating that the volume has come down drastically in the market. People are afraid to either do a sell and buy trade or a buy and sell trade. So they are keeping aside, and as a result, you find the market is making some subdued moves. And that is why the spread between the high and the low has come down very much. And also you can find very narrow swings are happening in most of the currencies, especially in the case of denominator currencies. So they are holding high and trying to build the sell positions, and it may look that they could take up the market further up, but they wanted to drop the market. You know very well they create the market sentiment and act against that of the traders. So let me minimize the PowerPoint presentation and focus the camera over that of the live market quote page. Now I'll try to answer to the questions which are asked here. Then he asks, what is expected of Euro GBP cross? Yeah, Euro GBP cross is expected to make a downward move. They are just making a pump and dump move, and 89.50, 89.56 is the high, 89.50, 89.53 are the current levels, and they wanted to build here in a narrow range the sell positions, and afterwards they are expected to drop. It may appear that it is looking very, very bullish, but they are trying to hold and build as much sell positions as possible before making a drop. So if you are trading in this particular currency, you need to have enormous patience, and you should also use the stop of 50 pips or the hedging of 50 pips, and in case if they go against, then try to book profit in the hedging, and when they start dropping, you try to book profit in that of their sell positions. But they are building sell positions here. But it may look very bullish. Then Francisco, do you see potential of euro to make an upward stop hunt to 1.44? No, if you carefully watch, they went up to 1.46 and then came down and briefly showed 1.44, came down, and then now they are doing it around 1.43, and then they are expected to come down lower below 1.41 and then go to 1.42, and this sort of pump and dump wide range moves they are trying to make in order to make a very big drop afterwards. So it might appear that euro is well supported above that of 1.40 area or 1.41, but they wanted to make a very big drop for the month end and also the new month beginning. So be careful. Don't assume that simply they are going to be holding euro in the range and afterwards trying to rise it. So any rise, try to build sell positions and keep stop or hedging order in case if you need to protect the equity, and then try to book profit, and that will be able to help you in earning money from that other market. And it may appear that I am encouraging a counter trade and things like that, but I am reading what they are trying to do in the market, and with the help of I am trying to suggest the trades, and I may be wrong also, but for that you use the hedging order to limit the risk, but they are definitely building sell positions. Then later on by this weekend and probably next week we will realize that, but by the time we may only repent that I could have taken a sell positions at that time. But when the market is stagnant or when the market is struck in a narrow range and we hesitate to take any position, that's what normally, it's not only small traders, even the big traders, they hesitate. That is why you find the range becomes very, very narrow and they don't breach the high or the low. They simply consolidate, making circular trades. But gradually they are building the sell positions in all. And afterwards, let loose the market. Then you find that the market, they are holding high in order to build sell positions. In case if they wanted to rise the market to further highs, always keep in mind that they will do the lower level consolidation. Near that of the low, they will make a prolonged consolidation with a downward stop, and then only they will rise the market. But now if you see most of the occasions, they just make a quick drop within the session or the next session. They quickly gain the level without accumulating buy positions at the lower level. Then when they go up and hold high for a longer time, that is the way they do. This is mainly a quick rise and a slow drop, quick rise and a slow drop, or nothing but pump and dump moves. So that means they are building sell positions and they wanted to drop later on. Then MLI, what is the maximum pip a big drop is supposed to be? They can do about 150 pips net change level as a big drop in the case of euro, or sometimes 250 pips in the case of GBP. And there are certain occasions wherein they can do about 200 to 250 pips during the drop in the case of euro, whenever the liquidity crisis happens. That's all. Will GBP rise to 1.63? No, it's very doubtful. GBP may not rise, but they may drop less. In Francisco, how players are positioned towards CHF, and it is strong rise in the last month. So CHF, they are actually USD CHF. They are just trying to hold and making a lower level consolidation with a downward stop loss. So they gain some levels and book profit of their buy positions, again drop and try to buy more positions. And it will appear that they are buying CHF. Actually, they are buying US dollar at the lowest level against CHF. So USD CHF, they are holding low and they are doing downward stop and indicating that they are accumulating huge positions, and later on like yen, they will just gain that and continue to gain. And also in the Canadian dollar, you would have noticed that they have been holding low for a long time and gradually they are gaining the levels. And they may do a brief downward stop and then gain. But such occasions you can buy. Otherwise, wait for them to consolidate and come out of this multi-year low conditions and later on you participate in trading. Then Petroni. Japanese session slide, European session rise, US session holding high. What is the Monday false move? It is the last week of the month and also in this particular week you come across the new month also starts. So whenever you come across a week in which a month gets over and the new month starts, they are known to make volatile moves. So what we have seen yesterday was nothing but a quick drop as a continuation of the Friday drop, and later on they gained the levels very quickly. They are holding high and they are supposed to drop again. So it's nothing but the volatile moves for this Monday. So week beginning false move, they do it during the second and the third week, and the last week they do volatile moves. So if you consider as a week beginning false move, then Monday they dropped. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday they are supposed to rise. Then what you are telling is correct. Week beginning false move. But now they are expected to gain the level. They gain the levels. Again they are expected to drop. Now slowly they are coming down in the case of Euro as well as GBP closer to that of the low. Then check. Are you expecting an upward trend starting from next week? No, sir. I am expecting a downward trend and downward shift in trading zone is expected from next week. And then you will come across, everybody will become bearish in the case of Euro, GBP, etc. But at that time, the players are expected to drop and buy. But they will not rise immediately. That is the problem. They will accumulate buy positions, and after accumulating substantial buy positions, they are expected to rise the market. Then Carlos. Any chances of USD to reach 81.50, 82? Yeah, it is expected to slowly gain the level similar to that of Canadian dollar. And so they have already done the upward move above that of the initial high in the case of CHF, and they are narrowed down the net change to 1 pip. So now they are handling Euro as well as CHF in order to drop little bit Euro CHF. Both are showing negative net change, and all the majors are showing negative net change, and the commodity pairs are showing positive net change. So this is the way they handle the crosses of different crosses they have to handle. The Euro crosses, GBP crosses, Yen crosses, CHF crosses, Canadian dollar crosses, Australian dollar crosses. So you come across the permutation combinations of all the crosses. They handle it by making variable moves like the negative net change in the case of majors and positive net change in the case of commodity pairs. So after that, they will come to that of the majors during that of the late Japanese session. They already breached the low in the case of Euro, 42.80. They are shown from 81, and also in the case of GBP, 59.64 they have breached, and 59.59 has become the low. They will come to that of the majors now. Then callers, this week, please. I don't understand what implies. Then PY, do you think that USD-CHF will be the safest pair to trade? No, it is not considered as the safest pair to trade. And always keep it in mind, at the highest level, if you try to sell, they will make an upward stop. At the lowest level, if you try to buy, they will make a lower level stop. But if you have got the capacity to withstand such moves, then you can take a buy. But the same amount of money, if you try to spend it or use it to take positions in Euro and GBP, you will be able to make very quickly the profit. So it all depends upon your decision-making ability, and also it will be a patient testing game, and you should be able to see that or relatively handling it in a very safe way without giving any threat to the top, the usable margin. Now they come in euro below that of the low and staying there. So after keeping negative net change, USD, euro and USD CHF, they are slightly coming to the 0 level and they want to make a rise here, make a rise in the case of USD yen. And these are all downward stopped in the case of the crosses. Then afterwards you will find the majors, euro and GBP showing negative net change and USD yen and USD CHF showing positive net change, and also Canadian dollar showing positive net change and Australian dollar showing negative net change. That sort of moves we'll see as basically USD gaining move. So now euro is the only currency they are using it in order to create the bullish and the bearish feel alternatively. And GBP they are not making very effective moves because not many traders are participating in it. Actually the volume has come down in the market. That is why subdued moves are happening in the market. Then can we expect 1.61 level this week before further drop in the case of GBP? I doubt very much. They may just go to 1.60 or 1.6050 and things like that. Afterwards continue to drop GBP for some more time. Then do you see dropping more to 1.58? Yeah, they may go even further down during this next month. Then yes, if the Greek Parliament votes for the austerity measures, do you see euro to rising to 1.45? Now, according to my algorithm, I am expecting euro to come down drastically. I do not know the impact, how exactly it will be, but I am expecting a downward move in the case of euro. The outcome of the voting, things like that, I am not very sure. Then Eric, so there should be an upward spike between now and the gap time. Then take a sell and buy. No, they may not, because they have done the downward move. And if they sustain below that of the initial low for more than 30 minutes, then the upward move may not happen very effectively. But sometimes, they quickly gain the level and start building the sell positions. In such a scenario, they may just go closer to the high, or sometimes even make an upward stop and then drop. It all depends. One or two pairs they may do, but normally when they breach the low and stay below that low for more than 30 minutes, within the session they are not expected to rise. But gap time they may use it to rise, and the next session they may start near that of the high, or just a psychological level 1.43 and start making a drop, because hardly it is about 25 pips. So making 25 pips move is not a big difficulty for them. Then Jason, what about Australian dollar? Australian dollar is expected to make the slide. Now it has come negative net change. Then they are expected to make the slide. Then DDPT. Do you see Australian dollar dropping to 1.02 before any short covering? The Australian dollar is supposed to trade up to 1.03 level. Then afterwards it is expected to show a very big drop. So they may not trade in between the levels like 1.02, 1.01 and things like that. And those who are holding higher level long positions are expected to come down and drastically, and you may see it below parity soon. Any chance of going to 1.06? No. Now it is very unlikely, sir. Then Carlo. I was trying to ask you whether USD yen would reach the level of 81.82 this week. Okay. Yen can slowly gain the level, but now you come across negative net change, and slowly they are expected to show a gain, but it's very, very slow, sir. And if you take the position, but we may have to wait for 2-3 days to book at least 50-60 pips profit. And it's not worth taking positions in such denominator currencies. Let them come to that of the normal level, then afterwards you try to take. But it might appear that it is safe to take a buy position, but it is safe They may not make much of a downward move, but at the same time, they will not make an upward move for you to book profit. That also you have to consider. What is the use of simply taking a position and simply holding it for 2-3 days and booking about 30-40 pips profit? You tell me. Then Ravi, interest rate increased. Will Euro USD increase? If so, by how much? No, we are not going to have that interest rate rise this time. So probably next month. Then DDPT, USD Is this a level to good level for long position trading USD That's what I am telling DDPT, that you can take a long or a buy position in the case of USD but you may have to hold it for a long time. And if you don't mind holding it for 2-3 days and trying to book about 50-60 pips profit or 100 pips profit, then you can do it. But downside is limited. Then DDPT. What do you see in USD CAD trading next week? So let us worry about this week, then later on think about next week. So USD CAD is slowly gaining the levels, but still all the denominator currencies are making subdued moves. Keep that in mind. Then when you enter into that, near the low, a buy position, try to exit because the spread between the low and the high is so narrow. And whenever the spread between the low and the high in a currency is less than 50-55 pips, then avoid taking positions in that. You may not be able to book much profit. See, ultimately, once you take a position, you should be able to get at least 50 pips or 100 pips or 150 pips profit. Getting about 10-15 pips profit might be very frustrating for you, and invariably when they show loss in your position, you will feel like cutting or closing the positions. Avoid such emotional stress on you. I don't have any solution to these currencies. Only thing is they are slow moving when compared to Euro and GBP. Sense pipe. At what level are you looking to sell Euro? Euro has already breached the low and come down, and 42.71 has become the new low, and earlier it was 42.81. So if it goes above this during the gap time, you can definitely take a sell position. So between 42.81 and 43 area, they may show intermediary highs, then you can just sell. These are all nothing but the calculations. It may go wrong also. Please keep it in mind. I had a short position in Euro at 41.93. What do you do? What to do? You wait. You'll be able to see below that. Then do you see Euro 1.39? Yeah, there is a great chance for it to come down to 1.39 area. So no more questions here. Let me go back to that other PowerPoint presentation. Expected market moves, high level swing and slide are the expected moves during that of the Japanese session, and the slide has already commenced now the late session, and they might make a quick pullback on the upside during the gap time and make further drop. Then European session, a drop and a volatile moves are expected. So you can do the swing trades. So sell and quickly book profit during the drop, but don't avoid or don't do buy and sell trade. And when they quickly gain the levels during mid-European session, again take a sell position. Then during the US session drop, you try to cover it. So sell and buy trade might be wiser according to my estimate. And if you are smart enough and if you can handle it carefully by keeping stop at entry and things like that, you can also do buy and sell trade. Either way, big moves are expected to happen in the last week of the month. So volatile moves are to remain here, and you can do either way swing trades, but the best thing is sell and buy trade, sell after the rise and quickly book profit during the drop, but position trading might be risky. You know that last week and the first week and the last week of the month, position trading might be very risky, and if you try to keep stop, they may hit the stop very frequently, and instead you can book profit as a swing trade. Then from the second week of July, you can do the position trade. That will give you a good result. So with regard to the initial lows and the highs, Euro formed the initial low 1.4281. They have breached it and formed 1.4268. Now, then GBP 1.5964 is the high. They have breached and formed 1.5953. And CHF, the initial high was 83.55 and they formed 83.57, but they have come below that of 83.55. So they may hold it for some time and later on only rise it, because they made it appear like a stop end, but they wanted to hold in a narrow range and later on rise USD CHF using some trigger. And yen, they have not breached the high or the low. And Australian dollar, they breached the low and formed 1.0437. 1.0442 was the initial low. They formed 1.0437 as the new low. The high has not been breached. So now you can understand, whenever they make a quick rise, you can sell. Then USD CAD, they are not breached the low or they are not breached the high. They breached the high, formed 98.69 as the new high. So CHF and Canadian dollar, they breached the high, and Euro and GBP, they breached the low. So any pullback, try to take sell position, but during drop, don't try to take sell. And you may have to handle it carefully in case if you do a technical trade of sell below that of the initial low, then quickly you have to keep stop at entry. And if you are not comfortable in such trades, then wait for the next session and try to take a sell when they firm up. Then afterwards, wait to book profit during that drop. So I take this opportunity to thank everybody who have come here to listen to my talk, and I'll come back again tomorrow and explain to you what are the expected market moves in this particular week and also coming month. So I thank FX Street and also you people who have come here to listen to my talk. See you again tomorrow and do yet another Asian session live market analysis. Thank you all and all.